Indie Rock from our Freedom Core collection. The Indie Rock element of long hair is perfect because it gives today's woman that element of independence and to be able to be punching that fashion forward with that very on-the-edge vibe, but still maintain the long hair. To begin with, the first thing we do is I like to have my guests stand, and we're going to work in through our nape line with very clean horizontal sections. I'll begin just underneath the occipital bone. We're going to take this line down, and I'll work with two sections. Section left and section right. Now I'll take this section and I want it shattered. I want that real rugged feel to it, but yet I want it blunt, and I want a forward movement to our design. So I'll take the line down and I'm going to pinch it together right in the center of the head, and we're working right between our shoulder blades. The surface edge comes underneath and I shatter it under. Working with very little tension so it sits even, and I'm a little longer onto my corners. So my next section's there. I'm going to move now to the top of the ear, pulling my section up, pulling my section up, and the width of your section really can depend on how thick of hair that you're working with. And let's comb this all back really nice and smooth, and I've turned the comb now with the fine teeth. So let's comb this down, and I'm going to find my guide underneath. There's my guide, and just where my guide falls out, take the surface razor and I bevel this under. As I move to the top, I'll turn my comb to the wider teeth, and I'm going to comb everything really smooth. I actually find ourselves spending more time combing the hair than we do cutting it. I want that combed all smooth back and forth. My best friend right here is my protein cream. Helps condition the hair as I cut and really helps detangle for me as well. Comb that really nice and smooth. Comb the line down, find my guide, just where my guide falls out. Everything is held to the center, and I shatter the line off. At this point now, when my length falls forward, you'll see I'm maintaining more length in and around my face. For our fringe, we're working a deep V from our center out to our corners, making sure that we break away just where the hair falls into the temple, depending on the thickness of hair of how many sections that you'll take. Our first section now I'm working in about 1 inch, and I'm pulling down about 1 inch past the eye, lay the base on, and we shatter that under. The next section I'm going to come and just leave it a little bit longer over the top. Shatter that under, and then let the fringe fall, and you can see that we're maintaining the length into our corner. Now we've sectioned Genevieve's hair in through the red zone in an arc all the way over the ear, and the red zone in behind the ear. It's very important when you're working with this line with our Indie Rock that you see how much density of hair you have in that temple, and actually the hair here is perfect for what we're working with, so we can work in fairly deep. We're going to scissor over comb this, thumb on the bottom, first finger on top, and let's lift this up, and we cause the outer perimeter to travel up as we cut. And we'll come to this side here, and by traveling that up, it leaves a fringe on the outer side. Now watch when I release that, my fringe then falls down into my cheekbone. In behind the eye, we're going to come in nice and clean to expose that eye with good, strong confidence. And then as I work in behind the ear now, the same thing is we'll over-direct that section as we cut to be able to leave some of the fringe. So let's lift this section up, comb that nice and smooth, and over-direct it just past that part line. Take that line nice and clean, and then let that edge fall out. And I like to keep a little bit of a fringe to that. In around the ear, let's stay strong here. Take the comb away. Arch, arch, arch. And you see the swivel really helps me at this point as well, as I'm arching around the ear. And then as we get to the front, I want to leave just a little bit of our fringe. In through the neckline here, let's stay very, very, very natural, a real nice organic feel to it. With our disconnect complete, we're going to create an overhang on our side, very deep in behind the eye, but make sure we leave the length on our corner. So we'll comb down really nice and smooth, capture it in behind that first knuckle. Now I'll take the shear, drop it down, and I'm going to lightly walk the shear with a bevel in towards the face, starting just below the longest corner of that fringe. So shatter that line in and out, and the thumb just lightly flutters on the shear. So you can see how I'm deep over my disconnect, but then I leave my corner. So when we drop this down, you can see already how those layers fall over the top, but all that length is maintained. When we move on to our opposite side, we'll work with the same technique, but we're not going to work in as deep. So let's take the line down, comb nice and smooth, drop the shear, and lightly flutter that thumb as the hand holding the hair pulls out to the length, creating those soft layers in around the face. And we can start to see how much fun we're going to be able to have with this look. To release the weight on some of our layers, we'll take a guide from our side ridge that falls just over the temple to the cheekbone. At this point, I'll comb across the top to the back of our black zone. Lift this section up, and then from that guide, blend out to my length. And I'm going to work across the entire top, blending these layers off in that same manner. Let's lift that up and blend the layers off. Comb really nice and smooth, always cutting away from that guide, which will continue from where that fringe was. So as I pick this up coming across, the corner that I used for my original guide will be maintained by the length of my fringe. And we'll take that right from ridge to ridge. It's releasing some of our layers in through the top now. And then we'll come in and grab those layers just to find a little bit of a corner. And that corner we can blend out. Lift up that corner. Let's find our corner right here. And just lightly blend out and away. Lift that corner up. And we're working all the way around the head, across the occipital bone, lifting that up, picking up our top guide from our black zone, and blending our line out. Combing real smooth, base to ends. And your hand that holds the hair as it slides away is leaving the outer perimeter length. Now, to sit back and really take a look and see what we've done, see the movement, see the volume that we have. At this point, on many haircuts, you may be done, but we're not for Genevieve. And the reason is Genevieve's hair is so thick and heavy through the back. I want our indie look to collapse and move in. Nice soft rock feel without too much weight through the back. So realizing that, to release my weight, what I'm going to do now is section just above the occipital bone, all the way around the back. Drop this section out. So I'm keeping that real long progressive layer that we had to the top. And where I'm getting too much weight in through the back, comb the red zone out, because I need that hair over the red zone. But where my bulk falls in the back, I'll create another disconnect. Take my section out, find where that layer falls to my neckline, and very, 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 very soft layer that I remove. Hold that hair straight out, and I'm cutting in a descending layer fashion now with my knuckles to the head, which will help this collapse. Help that hair come in and hug into the head. As I move into the opposite side, I will not cut over top of the red zone. I'll leave my red zone alone. And now I want to come and see where that weight falls. Drop my line down over the top. And really now we can take a look at our layers and see how they're collapsing. At this point, you can really choose some of your detailing. As I look over top of my fringe, I like the option of maintaining that center part, so it's shorter and across, but we still have it because our corners are longer. Look how nicely that swoops across. So I'm going to keep that corner to work with. Take that hair, lift it, move it, see exactly how it falls for us. Now it's time for some indie vibe.
Giving Genevieve volume for her exposed look, spraying Jump mousse into the root and also some into my hands so I can run those through the ends. The Jump has corn husk fibers, giving tremendous volume while you blow dry. Run my fingers through that. And then we'll use the CRAVE styling paste. The clay in this product gives lovely hold and texture. Most importantly, it's going to hold the bang and any cowlicks in place for me. And I'll lift the hair up. I'm just going to run that through where she's undercut. And now I'll go in and blow this out with a round brush. Volumize the hair with Jump, control the bangs and the side fringe with CRAVE. And now I'm going to go back in with CRAVE. Some in my fingertips, work it through my hands. I'm just going to come into the bang here and let the CRAVE give it a matte finish. CRAVE is lovely for bangs in that there's not much oil to that product, so it gives hold separation without creating any oiliness to the forehead. So go in here, separate this. Now before I go in to the rest of the hair, creating separation and pieciness, I'm going to go in with our push powder, styling powder. Open it up halfway, give it a tap tap push, sprinkle that in through the hair, and just lift the hair and dust it in. The vegan fibers give some nice dry texture and separation. As you can see how this has a slight hourglass effect from that haircut. But now, to expose the style, I'll be pulling Genevieve's hair back, crown up for some soft texture, letting the hair fall and really showing off that undercut line. Organic styling, creating movements, texture, volume. We're going to go to the perfect product, SWIRL Salt Spray. Wonderful for hold, texture, movement. Working with natural sea salts and citrus fruits for hold and texture. Now when you apply this product to dry hair, that's when you'll get the most hold. So I like to come in and take sections, dampen it with the swirl, and I'll have you just tilt your head to the side here, gather the hair into the diffuser, and just let her hair fall into its natural wave pattern for a nice organic styling. Misting and diffusing sections of Genevieve's hair. I'm going in with one last mist all over, just to slightly dampen the hair with the SWIRL Salt Spray. Taking my diffuser, have her tilt all the way back, so these beach waves just cascade down, and we have that nice organic curl, enhancing her natural wave and texture. Careful not to run my fingers through the hair at all. Okay, Genevieve, you can bring your head back up. In here you can see we have tremendous volume, movement, and texture. We traveled from indie rock exposed to indie rock organic, and now we're moving into indie rock elegance. Where we're going to start is by working the shift shaping wax into my hands. The flaxseed fibers are going to give me flexibility and control over the hair. So I'm just raking this through. We're looking for a real loose, soft fishtail braid. I'm going to also be encouraging the hair over. So we're really going to be making a feminine, elegant statement, but maintaining this raw edge. Going to pick the hair up wherever you want to see the braid starting. Split the hair into two. Now I'll grab a small section of hair on the farthest side of the right strand, cross it over, and combine it with my left strand. Same thing on the left side, a strand furthest from the left, cross it over, and combine it with my right strand. I'll be taking small sections and creating this fishtail French braid. We're going to carry it all around through the nape and over to our right shoulder. The fishtail braid had nice control from the shaping wax, and it carried all the way in around the nape, and then I broke it off here. So what I want to do is I'm going to come in and create more texture here by just ribboning the hair, taking small pieces and just pushing it back. Push it back, push it back, push it back, push it back. So it's really rough, rugged, it has lots of movement. Now, another option here, just going to get you to turn your head, is to be able to show off this undercut line more. So I'm going to come in, just give the hair a light lift away, take my pin and slide it in towards the line. tiny bit of the Shift Shaping Wax, working with those flaxseed fibers, detailing a little bit more around the bangs and accenting the fringe into the neckline. Now that is Indie Rock with elegance. I'm going to hit the hair with a light mist of the BASSU Shine Spray. And that's Indie Rock with a elegant vibe.